Good Wednesday evening, everybody. Welcome back to another live edition of the Wisemen podcast. Ty Fisher alongside Derik, Abbott, Jerald Lucas unable to be with us today, but we know he is here in spirit. Derik, how are you, my friend?
I am doing as well as we can be on a rainy Wednesday.
You know, I had no idea it was
Really
raining
just
today.
giving us the fall vibes today.
Right.
Oh, yeah. It started early this afternoon, and it's kind of been hit or miss. But I think we're supposed to get it tomorrow, too. Better now than Sunday.
Is this supposed to rain in Tiffin tomorrow? I hope not, because that's where I'm headed for work tomorrow.
So we're ODU placed?
Yeah. Let's see. Chicago, Cleveland, Painesville, Vegas, Ashland. I don't even have Tiffin on here. Tiffin, Ohio. Tomorrow, it is supposed to rain. It's supposed to rain all day tomorrow. Oh my God. Yes. 70. Oh my God. Okay. Looks like I'm only
It feels like it's been every other Halloween it's rained. Or where people trick or treat, I should say. Halloween's not till Friday, but
yeah. I don't know. It looks like I'm doing only social content with my phone tomorrow because I'm not taking my camera out in the rain.
No, that's too expensive of equipment.
Yeah. Definitely not doing that. But Cincinnati decided to rain on our parade on Monday, unfortunately.
Great segue.
Thank you. I mean, I think this. I guess we could talk about this game. This was. I don't know how to explain this game, right? Because on one hand,
you were there, right?
No, no. Jerald ended up not going, so
go.
I didn't go.
Okay.
But it was, on one hand, I feel like they looked good. On the other hand, I feel like they looked about as what I expected.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I would say the same. I mean, the beginning, 15, 20 minutes, which I think the broadcast actually put like a thing up, which, I know they got to do it, but it always frustrates me when they do it, and how much we've been outshot and outscored on in the first quarter of the game. But yeah, I mean, Cincinnati definitely had their way with us in that beginning part of the game. It felt like, I don't know how many shots there were in the first 20, 30 minutes, but it felt like Cincinnati was just pouring it on. And part of me, it was creeping in my brain about how we've seen us be in those positions where, I forget what game it was, but sometime in the summer where Gazdag had what felt like 8 or 9 potential goals chances and just didn't score in any of them as they were missing them, or we were continually stopping them. I was thinking that we definitely can capitalize on this. Eventually this may catch up to them where they're not scoring on us and all we need is 1 or 2 chances to score, and that may be all it takes. But especially that first half was definitely frustrating. The beginning part of it specifically, towards the end of the half, it did feel like we started to get into form a little bit and have them kind of play the style that we want to play. It was almost felt like a battle of who's going to force the other person to adjust to what they're doing. And both sides were very set in their ways on how they were going to do it. And I think was evident by, I don't know, I saw people mentioning this online. I don't know the context behind why keepers do this, but both keepers at one point or another throughout the game were just held onto the ball with what seemed like an eternity, which I remember at one point MLS said they were rolling out rules that they weren't supposed to be allowed to do that, but rules be damned. People, they did it anyways, and there was no consequences. So
you're right. But that's only after, say, a shot's on goal and they make the save and they hold it in their hand.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah. So
that gives a little more context to it. That's such a small thing you have to pay attention to in the game. I know that, but
if you noticed, it happened a couple times in the Club World Cup where the keeper held onto it for more than 6 seconds and a corner was given to the other team.
Oh,
Yeah. But, like, I know exactly what you're
okay.
talking about. That pass back to Salentano, he just stood on the ball for, I'd say, greater part of 2.5 minutes. And they just stood there and
They
just
just
let him.
zoomed in on it at one point. Like,
Yeah.
I must not have had the volume up enough because I don't remember what the commentators were saying at the time, but like the cameras were zooming in on his foot just on the ball. And I mean, I was just thinking, like, if this were in Columbus, we would be booing the crap out. Like, we'd be losing our minds at how long that was taking. But I
Yeah.
guess if that's, you're allowed to do that, then why not? If you're trying to see who's going to bite first in terms of either them make an aggressive move or us like start doing a high press or something. I think that's what they were trying to wait out and see. And I don't think we really bid on it enough, to make it a big difference. But um, they were getting their guys in position. I mean, that Schulte was standing on his head, specifically that part of the game in particular, where he had to make some pretty good saves on some run of play that they were doing. They had guys right in the box. I mean, it looked like it could have been easily 4-5-0 very fast in that game. So I got to give it to the defense because we've really been on them in the past month or two about how they've been playing, and it's looked really disjointed and stuff. And I felt like specifically that part of the game, they really had to have their A game on them in order to not give up any goals at that part.
Yeah. I mean, I was hoping maybe to see a Camacho sighting in that game. I feel like he probably would have been an anchor in that space other than Zawadzki, but that's just me, right?
Mm-hmm.
Schulte obviously had multiple great saves, like you said. The one right before halftime, I think, was on Brenner.
Yeah.
A couple other ones in the second half. But I think it's inevitable the last quarter hour of the second half of any second half, we just seem to falter, and that's where Cincinnati punished us.
Yeah. They really put all of their guys forward on that one that they scored on. And like it felt like it was inevitable. I'm totally blanking on his name. That he was just in the box nonstop and finally got the score. Is it Denke? Something like that? Denken?
Kevin
Does that
Kevin
sound
Kevin
right?
Denke.
Something
Yep.
along those lines. Okay, yes. He was so close every single time that I was like, if someone's going to score, it's going to be him. It felt like just because of how a presence he was in the box. And half the time he was just there to strictly either draw attention away or pass the ball. Like he wasn't even trying to score every time. But that one that inevitably the score came from, I mean, it felt like, and I think I was reading some of the post game transcript of like what some of the players had said. And I think it was Nancy that said that, in that instance, like we got a little like twisted, or maybe we just weren't focused 100% on that specific time. And I don't remember who the defender was that got kind of turned or went the wrong way or something. It was that close of a type of, mistake, I guess we could call it, that, allowed them to get that score. And that's a bummer for sure. I did feel like I text my friends this too coming out into the second half that I felt good about because they hadn't scored yet. Nancy would be able to make some adjustments, and we didn't switch anybody initially with any subs or anything, but it did feel like we started to adjust to how they were playing. And at one point in the beginning of the second, it really felt like we were playing our style of ball, and we had gotten them fully to have to react to how we were playing and how we wanted to play, which was awesome. It
Yeah.
didn't translate to goals, but the fact that you were able to, in that quick of a turnaround, be able to get them back into the style you want to play. It didn't last the entire game, but obviously that's a good sign of being able to adjust. And we've seen that a lot with Nancy and any iteration of the lineup that he's thrown out there. But that gave me some hope. And even just limiting them to one goal. I mean, I know it stinks. We obviously wanted to win that, and we felt pretty good. I mean, I think you predicted that they would win. Did you say 1-0?
I
in your
think so.
prediction?
Yeah, I know. I said on every podcast about. I know I said Cincinnati would win this series. I think I said 1-0. I
Okay.
think I did. I'm pretty sure I did.
I thought you did. Was going to text it and I didn't, but I was thinking that after the game, I was like, I think Ty said that this would be the score. But I think that you could take a lot of positives from the game still.
Yeah.
Obviously, the ultimate, losing the result is not a positive 100%. But I think the
Hmm.
way some of them played and what a lineup that I considered to be kind of wonky, like, and I know we've said that a lot in one way or another in the past few months about how just unpredictable our lineups have been. But when I saw them roll that out there and you didn't have Gosdog starting, you didn't have Russell Rowe starting, Aliu didn't start, I thought that was really, really surprising. And it was Shambos up top, right? I believe
No,
so. Who was
it
it?
was Lapalainen, Picard, and Rossi up top.
Oh, Picard was. I see. I probably flip flopped the two and didn't even realize it. Okay. Lassie starting, not a big deal. Not even Picard. I mean, Picard, sure. Chambos, sure. Like, in a way, I can see that making sense. But to not have one of your other strikers up there is a little. I wish someone would have asked them that when it came to the post game, just to wonder, like, why. And I get that in a sense could be you're looking at it as if we don't win that game, you want it to go 3 games, but at the
Yeah.
same time, you have almost a week break, more or less. So it's like we've done that a million times throughout the season. We can't really be thinking that way right now. And then the rest of the playoffs, I mean, shoot, then you're only doing 1 games at a time, 1 game at a time, and they're usually at least a week apart. So that was a bit confusing, and I wish someone would have asked about that. And I don't think, I mean, no one's going to ask about it now because they're going to be more focused on the next game coming up.
Yep.
But I was a little shocked at that, to say the least, when that lineup came out.
Yeah, I was. I popped into Scarves and Spikes, the Atlanta podcast. They were doing a live watch along, and they asked me,
Hmm.
about Gosdog. Why is he on the bench? Did he pick up something in practice? Was it tactical? And I said, well, it had to have been tactical because if Gosdog would have picked up an injury or something, we would have heard all about it, right? But
Hmm.
it was confusing to me why he didn't start. That I mean, I get Lapalainen has flashes, but I think he's more suitable to be a wingback replacement, right? Like a Arf center replacement, and
Hmm.
not somewhat of a 10 or something like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And he
I
didn't
think
start more than like, what, 2 or 3 games this season, even?
I think so. Yeah, I think it was like 2 games that he started this year.
So it's like, I get, I would have understood it more if you had one of the strikers up there. And they took Gosdog off the bench against the Red Bulls, so I thought, okay, this is probably a tactical thing. But then when you have
Yeah,
Russell Rowe also coming off the bench, I was like, okay, like, are we going to put them on both at the same time? And then we've got our three. I mean, towards the end of the game, almost every sub was an attacking sub,
yeah,
which makes sense in a playoff game. But to not have really a true striker up top outside of Diego, who, we've talked about all season, how he has the potential to be that guy, but I don't think he's that guy anymore. He hasn't really
yeah,
done that necessarily being a season long, striker. And so to put him up there and expect him to do all of that, even though he has produced a lot of goals for us, I don't even know if he has a lot of chemistry. I mean, no, actually, I feel pretty confident in saying he's not gonna have a lot of chemistry with Picard and Lassie up there, both on both sides of him, or whether he's on the side or he's going to the inside. It doesn't really matter. I mean, he has not played with them in gameplay in that type of formation, so a lot of just baffling. I would venture to guess going forward, at least these next 2 games. Well, I'm saying next two, at least this next game at home, especially. But if we get to Cincinnati again, I don't see that happening again. I just don't see any way that you don't have one or both of them all up there starting. And then you've got Aliu, or you can swap any of them around and put one on the bench. But that way you have one, extra guy to come on there. I mean, I just think we have I know we don't have a lot of depth in certain positions, but there's enough to still be able to put one of them on and not have them on the bench. We didn't do that all the season, so I don't know why we're doing it now. But again, I haven't seen anybody online really have much of an idea of, from a tactical standpoint, why we would have done that. But it's happened. So there's nothing we can do to go back and suggest to Nancy not to do that, because he did it anyway. So, and we wouldn't be saying anything if it would have worked out. So,
by the way, Lapalainen started 5 games this year out of 17 appearances.
That is surprising, actually. I bet it was during the summer when we had some injuries and we had condensed schedule in certain parts of the season.
The 14th against Vancouver, he played 45 minutes. The 25th versus Atlanta, where he played 61. And then the 29th versus Philadelphia, where he played 45. All of those were starters. And then Orlando City, where he played 45. And then Decision Day, Red Bulls, where he played 45.
So in most of these games, when he's coming in, he's not playing more than a half in most of them. A half's worth of time.
Yeah.
Also a bit surprising, because these are ones he's starting in, not ones he's coming in off the bench either.
Yeah.
So he's only really getting yanked at halftime. So I don't know. Do we have him for more than a year-long contract? I know I'm kind of going off topic here.
I don't think so. I think he's done after this year, isn't he?
Okay.
I can't remember. I'd have to,
because I'm just thinking, like, I don't know. This is one of those. It kind of reminds me of when we had we talked about him weeks ago, and I'm forgetting his name. We got him from like Montreal or somewhere, or Minnesota, I think it was, and he was like hurt a lot, but then he scored us a goal in the playoffs when we won the championship. He played on the wing, played on the outside wing, typically on the left side.
Julian Gressel.
No, not Julian Gressel.
Oh. He scored a goal.
He scored a goal. I think it was in the Orlando game, perhaps.
Christian?
No.
Ramirez?
No. It'll come to me randomly. Anyways, there was a player that, and I don't think that Lassie's even as good as this player was, but he was someone that we kept playing and kept playing and kept playing at different times, and he didn't really contribute a lot. And then he finally scored a goal, which was really important, and it helped us out. And I was like, okay, we played him and we spent that money on him for that goal, which is great, but I don't know. I'm fine with him out there, but not in the way that they used him this past week.
Yeah.
But, I mean, again, props to Cincinnati. And they didn't play like Miazga, and some of these guys didn't even end up playing for Cincinnati. So they've got good depth. But, again...
Miazga's hurt.
Oh, is he? He's still hurt? Okay.
Yeah.
Is he going to play at all in the playoffs?
If he does, it's after the series. Because he's out for the series.
That makes sense. Okay.
One thing I did notice, and which I think should be a very big talking point as to how Columbus can maneuver, is Cincinnati played a very high line.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Which obviously put Columbus under pressure, forcing us to make mistakes and turn the ball over. How do you feel Columbus should navigate that heading into game 2, especially now that they're at home?
Yeah, it's a good question, because we've been pretty good about sucking teams into high lines, and typically have done relatively well, I would say, on like holding the ball till we get enough of them up and then kind of attacking from there. I would say that in a lot of cases, what I noticed is that there were definitely some, I don't want to say like, I don't know the best way to put it. Some of the passes and some stuff like was just like kicking the balls out, not really getting passes. And I think I mentioned this against, maybe it was Red Bull or the game before that, but like some of the passes and stuff weren't really like on target per se. I think if we could get a jump on some of them, and but again, you have to have guys who are going to know that they have to know each other really well. So again, a good reason to put the players out who have played a lot with each other. But if you can get a good jump on them, I mean, their keeper in some of those like runs that we were doing, like on run of play, where we just really had to outrun their last defender, and their keeper was coming all the way up out of the box in a few cases where I was like shocked at how high he was even willing to get up. Where I'm like, you could do one quick move or something and get it right past him. Like, so
Yeah.
I think there is a lot of potential. I think they had the right idea in mind. And I think in the after the game, the pressers with some of the players, I don't remember I think it was Shambos and someone else. I don't remember who the other person was. It might have been Zawadzki. But I think it was Shambos where they asked him, like, what did Cincinnati throw a different game plan at you than what you thought they were going to do? And he said, no, not really. Like, frankly, they did exactly what we thought they were going to do. They just executed it better than what we did. And I think that gives you some hope going into it, where you could see on tape some of the mistakes you did, or maybe you were just a step slower to making that pass. Those types of little things that, unless you rewatch it a few times, you probably don't just pick up on right away. And certainly, I didn't necessarily right off the bat. But when you bring that up, that's probably the first thing I would think of, is being able to counter that high press, like bring them in like we typically would do, and then counter it quickly. Or if they're not running the high press, do what we do, stretch the field. Like, it didn't feel like we were doing a lot of stretching the field to then find spaces to get people in. Eventually we were getting in there. There were definitely some stretches where we were getting the ball in close to the box, but I think I saw like a heat map, and like and from a general standpoint, we weren't really in the box a whole lot. And that's a problem. You
Yeah.
need to find ways to get in there. I don't have any faith in us doing like a run of play, get a long pass, get right at them. I mean, we tried it a few times in this game, didn't really work out, but a lot of them are coming from either side. And I just don't think, and I mentioned this a few weeks ago, the loss of Mo Farsi, I feel like, is a much bigger like impact on this team than we all initially like even really discussed. I think initially we were like, we've got guys who can replace him. When he's back, he's back. We're all good. One, I don't think any of us anticipated him being out this long, but two, he can get the ball into the box for individuals. Like, we know that he can do that. That's a skill of his. I don't know that we have too many people on the wings currently who are really able to do that as well as we need them to outside of him. And I think that's something that they should definitely prioritize looking at or developing out of somebody in the off season, because, and this is, I mean, depending on how long you've been watching career soccer, this is not a new development. This has kind of been going on for a while. You talk about corner kicks, it is very day and night on what season it is in terms of if we're any good at those or not. But that notwithstanding, I think it's really, if you're not going to be able to penetrate in the box, you need to get people. If you're not dribbling in there and shooting, then you need to get people in there. And if you're going to be on the side, we tend to get as close as we can to the line and then just take shots or try to pass back up to the top of the box. And sometimes I just feel like you're doing too much passing. This was another
Yeah.
thing I saw from one of the players commenting after the game, where they were saying, we just need to take more chances. Like, if you're close enough and you have what I would deem to be a greater 50% chance or greater, shoot that ball, because we've talked about it before, and I know in the Nordic stands, we talk about it all the time. If you shoot and you miss or they make a save, but they don't like make a save in terms of like jumping on the ball and it fires off somebody's hand, leg, whatever. If you've got people crashing the box, you can clean it up and just boot one in. I think that's roughly how Cincinnati scored in the first place. So like those are just some things I think are we tend to have games where we don't do a lot of those types
Yeah.
of things. And I think, especially if they're going to be running a really high line and you can get a break, you can get that ball up there fast, you might have a numbers advantage, especially if you can get a numbers advantage. We didn't have a lot of that in the last game. A lot of it was their whole defense was there, ready to go. And their whole offense was down there, also ready to play D on players. So it gives you a little bit more quick moves. And I think, if you can get them to play your style, then absolutely stretch the field, do what we normally do. If we're not able to get that going, just attack them. Like literally, be brave with how you do some of these long pass attempts and different things like that. And we're not going to win all of them, but like if you consistently do it, you might be able to shake them back into not doing as high of a press as they were showing us, the last game. And you might be able to get them into a more of a formation that benefits us in terms of how we want to play. But I still think, it was very clear when you didn't have a striker that was, a true striker up there. It makes a huge difference, honestly.
What do you feel like would need to change for Columbus heading into game 2, besides getting a win and Gazdag? What do you feel like would need to change? What would Nancy need to do in order to steal a win back home in Columbus?
Yeah, I think outside of some of the stuff that we've already talked about, obviously, I would like to see substitutions when it is not just use a sub for the sake of using a sub. I
Yeah.
think there is a strategy to using those at the end of games, especially if you're winning. You can really drag time out. We have a tendency to throw subs in there at like the 88th minute and things like that, where I'm like, I don't know what's the impact that somebody. Sometimes you do see that where somebody has an impact in a 2-minute window or how much ever extra stoppage time, which we never know. Could be 5, could be 1. I mean, it's really hard to predict what they're going to throw up there. But I think using subs more liberally when it comes to getting more fresh legs out there. And I think at one point, and they mentioned this on the broadcast, they showed Nanti, he was like holding up fingers. I don't know if it looked like it was like 10 fingers, like pretty much looking, and they were surmising that he was looking at Diego to say, can you go 10 more minutes?
Yeah, yeah, I remember hearing about that.
And I think like that's great. Like he's a great player. You want him to be on the field. But if we had, and I don't remember who was in the game at that time, so I could be wrong on terms of who was all out there. But if you can get fresh legs and fast strikers and things like that out there, make that move. Like just because he wants to stay out there for 10 more minutes because he thinks he can, if he's going to get some more minutes in him and we've only got 15 more minutes or 20 minutes in the game, I would rather see someone with fresh legs out there who could maybe score us a goal than him who has been running around for the entire game in his first game back in a month plus. Like it just seems some of those things, they feel like they're obvious. I'm sure I am not I've never been a soccer coach, anything like that, so I do not have any context of what the reasoning would be behind that. But I think sometimes you can't be afraid to make that move and be like, hey, we got to get fresh legs out there right now because we need to score. We could tie this up, then you get into penalties, and maybe that's a part of their thinking of, but I don't know at that point that you can really necessarily be thinking about who's going to be out there for penalty kicks. Not in that specific moment. You get to like later in the playoffs, I totally understand that, but for the time being, I'm like, we just want to win here in their place, because knowing if you were to come into Columbus in a potential win the game we move on scenario, I mean, you have literally all of the momentum behind you. Now they have to come here and then try to win away, you still have some momentum, but like that's such a big swing. So I think that's kind of the main thing that comes to mind is the substitutions aspect of it. I mean, I don't think that the formation outside of some of the players that we had in there to start or anything we did, I thought we adjusted well primarily. I thought the defense did pretty well, except for, that one play where they scored on, where eventually it's one of those, like I was mentioning off the top, where if they have a bunch of attempts and they're not scoring, great, because you do feel like eventually you can get one because they might exhaust all of their potential tries in the entire game. But you still run the risk of eventually they also still may get one of these if they're going to continue in that way where they're throwing everybody forward. I mean, everybody was in our box all night. So as much as defense did well, the idea is also to try to keep them out of it. And I think the one that they, I'm thinking back on it now, the one that they scored on, I think it was Zawatsky, was just like a step further over the line. So they kept, I forget his name already, but they kept him onside just ever so slightly. It's just like small things like that. Yes, Danka. It's those things that like ever so slightly, those tiny little things make the biggest difference in games like this, especially when it's 1-0. One thing actually that I think we could do better at, that is probably a little unconventional, or at least we don't talk about it a lot, is one thing I noticed with, and I have not watched a lot of Cincy play, so I don't know if this is a common thing, but I was definitely starting to wonder is you had all of their guys like so frustrated at first. They're like yelling at the refs. They're like, you could see the frustration on them. One of them is probably just the fact they're not making these shots that all felt like, they were peppering us with shots. But I think if you could start to get them a little more frustrated in those scenarios, and they may not be susceptible to it right off the bat, but if they start missing a few shots, there definitely seemed to be a window there where if you take their frustration and just frustrate them more with how you're playing, everybody does like slight little elbows, different things like that. Like if you can take advantage of that, like you're going to get them to either one, get in their own heads and mess up on something, and we might be able to take advantage of that. Two, just as simple as getting carded for yelling at the refs or kicking a ball or doing something, that is deemed to be reckless in terms of that. Like just those slight things make such a big difference, where I at one point was like, oh, they're really like, they're running on such high adrenaline that we could definitely get in their heads a little bit on this. And it didn't feel like we really took advantage of that. Like every team likes to pick on Nagby, and he's not someone who's going to show any emotion in that way. Like he gets up, he just continues play because he knows it's going to happen. He's so used to it at this point. But you start doing that to some of their other guys, I think you could get them into a scenario where they're picking up cards, they're getting frustrated, they're making mistakes. Like I think that's like a mental thing you could certainly take advantage of if the opportunity is there. And I would like to see us do that more, a little more like aggressive. Almost the opposite of like the Pedro Santos, where you could have like sneezed on him and he would have went flying 20 feet onto the ground and tried to get a yellow card. This is not the MLS of then, where now they would be giving them to him for doing those things. But back then they weren't doing that. But like just, the opposite of that, like, getting a little more aggressive with them, I think would be helpful overall. And I know I feel like we have a tendency, some of our players, to get a little like hot tempered about some stuff and like sometimes a little yappy with the, a little yappy with the umpires. And I think just channeling that into let's get them to do that, because you'll get more time at the end of each half because they're stalling time by getting in the ref's ear. Two, the refs are going to have a lot less patience with people who are doing that inevitably. So I think, if we get them into that, or if we just start the game, I don't know who's umping or reffing the game on Sunday, but like, if it's someone who's going to give out a bunch of cards, see if you can nudge them into some cards for Cincinnati. I mean,
it's
a different, it's not a tactical thing to do from like a play standpoint. But it's very much a mental side of the game too that I feel like you could exploit potentially.
It's Guido Gonzalez Jr. You would know him if you see him.
Okay. It's not ringing a bell initially, but okay.
He's known to do well, but I feel like in recent times he's done very poor with Columbus games.
Oh, great. Well, he'll be in our house, so he's going to hear it. That's for sure.
Yeah.
We are not afraid to let refs know that we are unhappy with what they're
Yeah.
doing, for sure.
Sorry. Sending an email really quick. What do you feel like Cincinnati would do to steal a win from Columbus in the series in 2? Besides play the way that they played on Monday.
True. I think that, and what I've noticed, and we don't lose a lot at home, but we've lost at home, obviously, or tied and done different things like that in recent memory, especially. I think they get a goal early. I think that would really put us on the back foot. We've responded to that in the past, certainly, but I think they get one or two goals on us early. We're gonna get in a desperate mode quickly, and I think the team will. The fans will start to feel it very quickly. I think that's a surefire way for Cincinnati to really get the leg up on us and potentially win a game. Obviously, at the end of games, if they can just will our defense into breaking down like we've seen that we can certainly do at times, I think that certainly would play into their favor as well. I think in those cases, it's either what I've noticed in the past is it's either we score and then within minutes the other team scores. So they're just catching us like not paying attention. And I think also if we're up and we just start to try to play defense, and I'm not sure that like that's necessarily the goal or we're trying to park the bus or anything, because I don't think Nazi really adheres to that methodology. But I think that we get a little too antsy about how we're almost going to win this game. We just need 10 more minutes, 5 more minutes or something like that. Like those type of thoughts probably seep into the players' heads. And in those scenarios, it feels like more often than not is when you're open to getting a goal scored on you. So I think it's the beginning and the end of the games are the really crucial times for them to really do that, because I think 90% of the game outside those the 5% windows on both sides, Nancy's really good at making in-game adjustments, halftime adjustments. The subs traditionally, I think, are pretty good. There's been some games where they're a little more questionable, or like you're just kind of wondering what was our game plan with that. But I think that we make good decisions when it comes to subs, formation, adjustments, those types of things. And I think you look at like last year when we got bounced in the first round, it was more so of, I just think it didn't feel like I think everybody kind of, and I don't think we were talking about it as much. Like now, because of the run of play, how we've been having in the past month or so, we've been talking about it a lot more. But I think then it was just, you kind of felt like the team was pretty tired. Like it was just, we played all this tournaments, like we were getting pretty tired coming into it. We've got primarily guys with fresh legs and guys who have come back from injury and been playing more now. Diego's going to go out there and probably try to give it 90 minutes. And I would imagine it, just like last time, if he says he can do it, they're probably going to let him do it unless he literally is, you can visibly see that he's like losing a step every few minutes or something like that. So I have no doubt that we're going to go out there. I just don't want us to like overcompensate. Sometimes everybody gets too jittery and trying to score and stuff that you leave yourself open to getting scored on. But I think if they really want to capitalize, it's that first 10-15 minute window and that last 10-15 minute window, regardless of who we do with subs. But I do think for our side, that would be a good time if you're going to do it, to get Camacho out there, with 10 minutes to go, even 5 minutes to go, things like that. Like I think we could maybe tactically utilize that. And I mean, at this point, he hasn't played all the season except for a game at Crew 2. So getting him some, any kind of active game minutes, I think would be great. especially if we're winning and we go to a game 3, then you can have a little more faith to use him more in that spot.
Yeah. I mean, I think honestly, Pat Noonan has done very well,
Mm-hmm.
right? I mean, if they play like I feel like see our problem is we're without Abu Ali,
Yeah. I was
right?
thinking about that the whole game. I was just thinking, like, we had him out there. I don't think this game would be going how it's going.
Yeah. No, not at all. Um, but I this it's hard to just it's hard to try and come up, not really come up, but it's hard to think about all the possibilities of the Crew winning when we've been in such a funk since what Leagues Cup again,
Yeah.
and everything that we think of that we can win, it's just not there, or
And
it's there and the teams figure it out and end up beating us anyway.
yeah, I think a lot of that hinges on, especially towards the end of the season, Abu Ali. Like, I think it's hard to think of a lot of these games because he's only played a what, 3 at most, I think.
I
I
think so,
think it's
yeah.
been 3. And I think he had
Revolution, New York City, Atlanta, 4.
okay. Because I think they said he has 3 or 4 goals in the out of the games he's played already. So I mean,
Yeah,
you see that, and then you're like, you can't help but think about, like, how would we be playing in these games if we had him? Because even in defensive breakdowns, if we're up a goal or 2, you don't feel nearly as bad about it, even if it's there. I feel like this is. I mean, you see it. I know that this is like a different sports reference, but you see it with like a Cincinnati Bengals. They have all this money on offense, high-powered offense. They don't have Joe Burrow there, which if they would, I'm going to live in the land of if they did this season. These games, and even last season, like they have a really bad defense, but their offense can potentially outscore any team to be able to win them games. So you think
yeah,
about, like, in our instance, we have a defense that's looking a little leaky. I think the game against Cincinnati was probably the best I've seen them play in the past month or 2, frankly, which is good. That's encouraging, certainly going into this week. But um, thinking about, like, man, if we had a Booley, we don't even quite know yet what kind of wrinkle he adds because he's a different player than the other strikers we've had in
yep,
one way or another. So, like, does he get Gazdag more involved? And, like, because they're all coming towards him, just different things like that we have not been able to see yet because he got injured, unfortunately, got a fracture in his foot. So it's
yeah,
like, those are just things that you can't really do you can't do anything about right now. I do see people online now, again, still harping about why didn't we have somebody like him at the beginning of the season? We're in the playoffs. Whatever happened at the beginning of the season, it doesn't really matter at this point. I mean, yeah, would we have liked to have had a better seed? We did without somebody in the striker for the first half of the season. So to complain about that, I think is a little just, you're looking for something to complain about, and that's an easy thing to pick back up on again. But I think regardless of how this all plays out, what you see next year will be a lot more encouraging because the potential that a player like him has, regardless of who else stays around and is up top with him. And I think that, I do think about that during games. Like, there was definitely parts of, especially when we were trying to do like some attacking and just really not getting much past our half of the field before they would, stop it or something, where I would
yeah.
think, like, man, if we had a Boo Lee, we'd do some more passing, like, you would feel more confident about it for sure.
Prediction for Sunday?
Ooh, I didn't actually have not even thought about this. I would say I think we're gonna win. I know I just always say that, but, like, you're at home, elimination game. The idea of the Crew losing at home in an elimination game, I'm trying to think. I can't think of too many times that it's happened in recent memory. It feels like a lot of those are on the road. Um, when it comes to playoffs, I could be wrong. Somebody certainly who's more of a historian than me might know the answer to that, but um, it doesn't happen often. And I feel like it's a lot of, like, the crowd, the energy. I mean, overall, this season notwithstanding and some of our home stuff, in general, our team does play really good at home. The fans bring it. I think a lot of those factors go into it. By all accounts, it's supposed to be a nice day, which certainly is not a bad thing because you get more people out to the game as well. It's not on a OSU game day, which is very nice. So we'll get, a full force of fans. I did see that I think there's some tickets online still. So if you're thinking about going, snag a ticket, wait close to the game time. If you want it to go down, who knows, probably will. But go to the game for sure. I'm going to say I'll just go like 2-1.
2-1
Because,
Columbus.
yes, just because I just can't imagine them losing at home, but certainly possible.
I'm probably gonna go 2-1. 2-1 Columbus after PKs.
Oh man, PKs. That'd be so nerve-wracking. Especially at home. We had one though, didn't we? When was that?
PK?
Yeah, like in the past few years. I think it was a
In
Leagues Cup game.
playoffs or Leagues Cup?
I think it was Leagues Cup now that I'm saying that.
Yeah. I know we had Toluca this year.
Okay, maybe that's the one I'm thinking of.
We beat Monterey fair and square. We beat Club America 2024 PKs.
That might
be
it.
Tigres. Sorry, it was Tigres.
Tigres. Okay, yeah.
Tigres.
I think it was because I remember it was like a really big game on the grand scheme of things, which obviously that's a really big team down there. So that'd be nerve-wracking for sure. Those always just in general because, I mean, no matter how much you think you know where a player is going to go, you don't really know. And the keeper still has to, do they go to the ground? Do they go high? I could never be a keeper. I feel like when you were in not even grade school, probably some really young age, and they're trying to decide what position everyone's going to play. Nobody ever wanted to play defense or keeper because you're I'm not really doing a whole lot, whatever.
Yeah,
I have the most immense respect for keepers because you have to know those types of things. And I've seen sometimes, and I don't know if this is super common, but I saw it recently. Maybe it was in Premier League or something, but they had directions of where people kick and everything taped on a water bottle. Maybe that's a common thing. I have no clue, but
yeah.
I think that if you could have stuff like that and then still be able to execute, even if you know where it's going, you still may not be able to stop it. It's so nerve-wracking. So, in the stands you are as a fan, but ultimately, your job's not potentially in the line for that one thing, whereas someone's it could be. So yeah, but it would make for a very fun game after the fact if we won that way. It will put a lot of pressure on Cincinnati, I think, because at that point, if you can win and go into a third game in Cincinnati, I would argue that they would have all the pressure on them because you're at home and outside of the first game, that does give you a little confidence. We've gone in there in those types of games and done really well. And also you're the number 2 team. You have pressure on you you should not be getting beat by the number 8 team or whatever we were, 7. So I'm hopeful. I'm very hopeful in that. I don't know who's going to score. I don't know what lineup we're going to march out anymore. So I'm
right.
Let's I'm not going to be throwing bets on it or anything. I'm going to steer clear of all of that because I'm I have no clue what we're going to do, but it would be nice. Now, if we could get past this and we would find out that Abu Ali could play, that would be just so awesome because we would maybe get to see what this team full force as we can be would look like. I did see that he was at practice today with, I think they said no boot on. I think that was kind of the guesstimation of it, but didn't was over talking to the trainer the whole time. So was not running around kicking balls or anything, but overall, that's a good sign. Mo Farsi was doing some stuff off to the side. That just, I wish they would just tell us if he's going to be able to play or not.
Yeah, that's definitely.
I don't want to keep hearing that. I just want to know in my brain, is he going to play or not? Yeah. But what I really hope is that they do not give us. Think of something more creative than another yellow rally towel. For the love of God, please. I love you, front office, when you give out like cool things. But I have a ton of them, and I could just bring one
I
from a
have a
previous
ton of
year.
them.
I
Yep.
love the winter ball caps. Those rock, or like the beanies. Awesome.
Yeah.
Love them every year. They give out like the sling bags, like different stuff like that. Those are really cool giveaways. But we can, I mean, come on. Or make it be really like unique and not just a yellow one with like black lettering on it. Please. We need that stadium rocking. Oh,
Uh,
I meant to ask you this. What do you think they're going to wear for kit wise?
Charlie Brown.
You don't think they'll do the legacy ones?
No, I already know it's Charlie Brown.
Oh, do you? I mean,
Yeah.
it makes sense.
Yeah, I made a post about it earlier today.
Oh, did you? Okay, I haven't
Yeah.
really been online a whole lot today, so I did not see
Yeah.
that. But I know you keep an eye on their like when they change the photos and stuff. So I was wondering if
They haven't been changing the photo.
no way.
No, they got like this whole new graphic pack that they're doing, and whatnot. It looks like it's like newspaper style type thing. So
Oh, I know what you're talking about. Yeah. Because
yeah,
I was in their app the other day. Okay, I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
I was like, oh, what the hell?
You would think they would use the Goosebumps stuff because it's almost Halloween at least. I mean, the game's after that, so they could just change it after that. But
Yeah,
this is my one thing too. Like they're like when they do these collabs with Ransom Supply, they're always freaking awesome. Like I want to buy all this stuff, but I really wish they would roll them out sooner than the playoffs. Like I want that stuff. It's September. Like let's get it out sooner. Because I'm always like, I'm gonna wear it, and I wear stuff in the off season. Like that's not a big deal. But I'm like, if I buy that thing, I want to wear it to a game all the time. That's just a small, minor me complaining about something that's not a big deal at all. But I would love for them to move that up a little bit so we could get more of that. But they've been knocking it out of the park every time we get the playoffs, whether it's the merch or the the slogans they do and like the aesthetic they do of everything. I feel like they do an A+ job at all of that. So I'm excited for Sunday. Get there. The atmosphere will be buzzing, I'm sure. That's definitely a game. If you are sitting in the Nordic, you need to get there early because it will fill up. And then you're either trying to sandwich between people or you're watching it somewhere along the outer rim, the few spots that they have available to like watch the game from. So, and then we'll see if it's Rally Towel City or if it's flags or something else. Who knows?
it's also a match where you do not need to be on your phone for the entire game. You need
Is
to
there
be
a lot of
like,
people? I don't see a lot of people doing that, but I don't have I have no doubts that people are glued to
yeah,
their phones these days. So
yeah. So, Derik, before we head out of here, I know I told you we have a game that I would like to play.
yes,
So we have a choice. We can either do a general Immaculate Grid, we can do an MLS based one, or we can do a Columbus Crew based one.
we got to do Columbus Crew.
I was about to do the Columbus
If Jerald's
Crew
not
based
here, he's going to be a lot better of helping out with the other ones. But I know some, but I feel like the Crew is what I would have a better chance at getting.
Yeah. So, and I by the way, I just did this on Chat GPT. There's no answers. I will show you right now. There's no answers.
Okay.
So we are doing this. We are thinking of names on our own.
Okay.
Okay. So first square, designated player played for the Columbus Crew. I have one easily in mind.
You're going to guess already?
Yeah.
I forget how these work. Okay.
So it's basically like you have to find the correlation between the two.
So we just throw out a guess first and then go from there. You go first.
Cucho.
I'm going to go.
And you can use the same answer as me. We can use multiple answers, etc.
I'm going to go Lucas.
Lucas, okay. Played for another MLS club. Played for Columbus Crew.
I mean, Nagby.
Okay.
I would say.
Okay. I'm gonna go obscure. I'm gonna go Evan Bush.
He was a DP at one point for us.
No. We're going down. Played for another MLS club. Played for the Columbus
Oh,
Crew.
okay.
So yeah. So your DP is
I'll stick with. Okay, let me write these down because I'm gonna start forgetting.
yeah.
All right, so I said Lucas.
Yeah,
And
you
Nag.
said Lucas.
I'm sticking
You
with
said
Nag.
Are you sticking with Nagby as DP or played for another MLS club?
Played for another MLS club because I got it
Okay.
confused, but I feel like that's gonna lead me in a direction that will be helpful.
Okay. So you have designated player, played for Columbus Crew, Lucas. Played for another MLS club, played for Columbus Crew, Darlington.
Yes.
I have DP Crew, Cucho. Another MLS club, played for Columbus Crew, Evan Bush.
Okay.
All right. Represented a CONCACAF national team, played for Columbus Crew.
That one's tough. Because CONCACAF is just going to be like.
Oh, what's his name? Okay. I think I have mine.
Wait for CONCACAF and the Crew.
Yeah.
There's one, but I don't know if he played for his national team. Okay, you're going to have to help me remember his name, but it was not Christian. Who? I'm blanking. Who did we trade to LA Galaxy? I'm mixing up everybody's names now. Who was that? What was his name? Christian Ramirez, right?
Christian Ramirez, yeah.
Okay. Who was the guy who played for the Crew? Do you know who I'm going to say?
Maybe.
There was someone who played for the Crew when we played at Old Crew Stadium, and he bleached his hair, and he looked like he was like he bleached it, and it was a little bit longer, and he oh my gosh, it's Christian Martinez. Was it Martinez?
Oh yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
Christian
That's
Martinez.
a good shout. That's a good shout.
I don't know if he played for his CONCACAF team, but I feel like he did.
Yes.
He did. Okay.
Yes. That's a good shout. Wow, that's solid.
What a pull, right? Me and my buddies had really high. Like we thought he was going to be like the next stud, and it didn't really work out. But we had like high hopes for him when he came here.
I'm gonna go for I can't remember his first name, but the last name was Gonzalez. He was a defender. He's Costa Rican. I just can't remember his first name.
Oh man, I kind of know who you're talking about too. This was another one that was from like the Berhalter days, I think.
Yes. Yeah. It's not him.
I think he played on that team that had
Giancarlo Gonzalez. That's who it was.
Okay. That I remember him. Yes.
Yeah. Hang on. I'm gonna try and share the screen so you can see a picture. This guy. Him.
Yes. Okay.
Giancarlo Gonzalez.
That's like it's getting close to I'm like, who is that? But yes, I do remember him.
Yep. Damn, that yours was obscure as hell.
I know. I don't even know if he lasted. He may have been like a season and a half on the team or something. But I remember he bleached his hair one game and then like wore it for a while. And he was like the fastest dude. And I was like, this is our guy. He's a winger, super fast. Like didn't pan out. I think he went and played for like Chicago or somebody after that. But
I can't remember. I think so. All right. Now we are going the same row down, second column. Okay. So now this is a designated player, one MLS Cup.
So it doesn't have to be a Crew player?
No, it's still a Crew player.
Okay.
We have to name a crew player who was a DP that won MLS Cup.
So I could use Lucas now.
Yeah, you can.
I could use Cucho, not Lucas.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, you could use Cucho the same time as me. I'll go Darlington Nagbe.
Okay.
Played for another MLS club, won MLS Cup.
Damn, we both use Nagbe. What a bunch of morons we are. That would have been such an easy one.
I know, right? Played for another MLS club, won MLS Cup. I'm trying to think. Oh, okay. I got one.
I'm trying to think of some of these more recent teams. Okay, I think I have one. I don't know if I'm right there.
I'm going to go Julian Gressel.
That's who I was going to say. That is so funny. That is so funny. I know that there was somebody recent who has already won one that is now on our team and it's not Nagbe. Okay. That's so funny.
Yep. All right. Represented a CONCACAF national team, won MLS Cup. I have mine, by the way.
I think I have mine. I think he was on the team when they won.
When they won MLS Cup?
Yeah. Wait, it's got to be a crew player.
Yeah.
Okay, hold on.
I mean, it can be current or former. Former. Jesus Christ, I can't talk.
Okay, you go first.
I'm going to say Aiden Morris.
Oh, I'm an idiot. I didn't even think about. I'll say Aiden Morris too. Then I didn't think. Did Chicharito win with LA? Was he with Galaxy or LAFC?
But he never played for Columbus.
I know. You're right. I knew. That's why I had to ask that.
Yeah.
I mean, my brain in a pretzel right now.
You're good.
Okay, we'll say Aiden Morris. Okay.
All right. Now, still the same 3 down, last column. Okay. Designated player played in Europe.
I'm blanking.
I have mine.
Okay, say yours.
I'm going to go Cucho again.
You can't use him again, can you?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought we could only use him once. Oh, because I was going to say, didn't Brian McBride? Was it Brian McBride?
See, I don't know. I don't know when the whole designated player was introduced in MLS.
That's what I was kind of thinking. I was in my head thinking because I would have thought that he would have been one for our team if they had that.
Now, I will say your choice could be your answer for the next one. For the next.
Well, good. I'll go Cucho then.
Okay.
I'm starting to blank here.
Played for another MLS club. Played in Europe.
Okay, Brian McBride for sure.
Okay, I'm gonna go Kai Kamara.
Oh man, he could have been the answer to a lot of these, and he is on Cincinnati. They mentioned his name in the broadcast, and I was dumbfounded. I'm like, of course, we cannot escape this dude. He will haunt us forever.
Forever, yeah. All right, last one. Represented a CONCACAF national team, played in Europe. This one could freaking stump me. Played.
Oh, because Brian McBride could have actually been good for this one too.
Yeah.
What's his?
Represented a CONCACAF national team, played in Europe.
What's his name? Who used to do. This is gonna annoy me because I actually really like him. He played. He was on NBC's Premier League stuff before they lost the Premier League. He ran like their pre and post show.
He was a crew player?
Yeah. Hold on, he has a soccer cafe in New York City. I'm gonna find him, and then I'm gonna be really annoyed that he didn't play overseas and I thought he did. Let me find him here. He didn't follow his own thing. Oh, mutuals. Hold on. That's not going to help me, actually. Oh, this is going to be really annoying because I'm not going to be able to find him. We don't have a lot of players that played on a lot of CONCACAF teams in Europe. Come on, dude. Where are you?
Represented a CONCACAF national team, played in Europe. I mean, to be fair, you could say we can say Aiden Morris again, but I don't want to be too obvious.
Yeah. Because we could end up using a lot of the same guys. Hold on. Let me just look like an old post from these guys and see who all liked it.
Oh, shit. I got mine.
Who?
Brad Friedel.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
That's obscure as fuck.
I didn't even think about him.
That's obscure as hell.
Brad Friedel.
Yeah.
Who? I'm going to be so annoyed because I can't find this dude. He like never posts anymore.
He was a crew player?
Yeah, he was. He came here for that they did I don't remember if it was when we won the championship. I think it was when I don't even remember. They did a game with like a bunch of the alumni, and they all played like at the field next to the historical society.
Yeah,
thing
yeah,
up
yeah,
by
yeah,
the
yeah,
old
yeah,
stadium.
yeah. Yeah.
Just do a quick.
I remember that.
You know what? I'm gonna ask our AI machine here real quick because I don't think that it's just gonna give me a bunch of current guys on here.
I remember that.
Here, hold on. Former Columbus.
You said he has a coffee shop?
Yeah, it was in New York. It was called like Football Cafe or something. Hold on. It might find the person for me here in a second. They keep saying Duncan Otten, but that's not who it is. Just keep saying Duncan. I'm like, is there anybody else other than Duncan? Kyle Martino.
You know what? I was going to say him.
Did he play overseas at all?
Kyle Martino?
No, he never did.
Yeah, I only see him with Columbus and the Galaxy.
He covered European soccer extensively on TV, but never actually played there. Damn. As much as he was covering it, I thought for sure that he was one.
Yeah.
All right, well, I'll just go with Brad Friedel then, for the sake of
All
not dragging
right.
this out. That was
All
good.
right.
I like that. We need to do that more. That was fun.
All right. So, now let me just
Christian
type in.
Martinez. I need to go find his jersey.
Let me just go type in yes. Alrighty. All right. It gave us answers now. Holy shit. That's obscure as fuck. Okay. All right. This is so wrong though. He never played in. So okay, some of these are wrong.
Ours?
No. Chat GPT.
Oh, really? I mean, it was trying to give me Duncan for like 5 questions I asked before I could finally just be like, not Duncan. And is there anybody else?
So, all right. So, Chat GPT has DP played for Columbus Crew, Lucas. Played for another MLS club, played for Columbus, Jossie.
Oh, duh.
Represented a CONCACAF national team, played for Columbus, Hector Jimenez.
Oh.
Yeah, that's true.
I forgot about Hector. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
DP won MLS Cup, Nagby. Played for another MLS club, won MLS Cup, Eddie Gavin.
I was thinking about him, but I couldn't remember. Who did he play? Chicago? Did he play or New England?
No. I think it was New England and Red Bulls.
Oh, I didn't realize he
but
played for Red Bulls.
I know him more so with Red Bulls when they were the Metro Stars.
Oh, okay.
Represented a CONCACAF national team. Won MLS Cup. Jonathan Mensah. But I don't think Ghana is a CONCACAF team.
I don't know. Well, no, because I only think about Ghana when we played them in the World Cup eons ago.
Yeah, and I think Ghana's African.
Yeah, I think you're right.
So that's definitely wrong. All right. I don't know if this is true or not. DP played in Europe. Federico Higuain says he played for Besiktas.
I gotta look that up. Where did he come from initially? Before we got him.
Oh, that's a good question. I don't know.
Let me see here. We'll just do Wikipedia because it'll be a lot quicker.
Yeah.
Yeah, he did for 1 year. Only had 9 appearances.
Okay. All right. Well then, hey, he made an appearance. He played in Europe.
Also, he played for River Plate at one point. I didn't know that either.
Yeah, Argentina. This is wrong, and you can correct me if I'm wrong also, because I don't recall him ever playing in Europe. Played for another MLS club. Played in Europe. Will Trapp. I don't remember Trapp playing in Europe.
No, in fact, I think that was like a big thing where we were like constantly wondering because he wanted to go to Europe. I thought.
Yeah.
No, that's wrong. He's only played for the Crew, Inter Miami, and then Minnesota United.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Still plays for Minnesota United. Did not realize that.
Yeah.
32.
And then this is wrong also. Sorry. This is wrong also. Represented a CONCACAF national team, played in Europe. They put Cucho.
No. Played in Europe. Yeah. Who?
He's Colombian. South America.
That might be a CONCACAF.
That's CONMEBOL.
Yeah, but CONCACAF's South America, isn't it? Oh.
CONCACAF
yeah, you're right.
is North and Central America. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, ChatGPT screwed up big time with this.
It's clearly not well versed in soccer.
Clearly not. Clearly not. No, yeah, no. We need to start doing this again. We need to start doing this more often. And maybe
I would argue we beat ChatGPT at its own game.
I would say so also. 100%.
Like big time.
I would say so.
They're like
100%.
4 or 5 totally wrong. Whereas like we're definitely on our game on getting these. Yeah, you know what? AI can't replace everybody. Okay. Anybody watching or listening, AI, don't just assume it can take your spot because we've just proven it wrong. We beat it. We beat the system. Make sure I had to look and make sure mine wasn't still on, wasn't listening to me, so it tries to kill me once it becomes sentient in the future.
Right. Derik, my friend, I have to pop over to another podcast here in 10 minutes. This was fun, as always. If you guys are watching here on YouTube, thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you for listening to us rant about the Columbus Crew and whatnot. Be sure to follow us on social media, on Twitter at Wiseman Pod, on Blue Sky at the Wiseman Say Podcast.bsky.social, on Instagram at the Wiseman Say Podcast. You guys can follow Jerald on social media at Jerald_Lucas96. You guys can follow Derik on social media
at Funky Moses 17.
You guys can follow me on social media at FisherTyler__. You guys can also listen to us on your favorite podcast platform like Apple Music, Spotify, Amazon, iHeart, Pocket Cast, Overcast, or on Goals TV. And we thank you once again for tuning in. I can't remember what else I'm supposed to say. Oh, as tradition goes, Derik, Wiseman say,
only fools rush in.
Peace out, everybody. Have a good week. Stay safe, stay hydrated, stay cool. Hug your loved ones. Go Crew.
Go Crew. See you Sunday.
That part. I'm probably not going to go. Yeah, I won't go.
We'll pretend you're there.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
I'll carry around your head on a stick.
Sick.